We used to be number one in the 1970s, hands down, the U.S. education system. And we've been sort of pedaling in place while other nations have been putting together a 21st century system.
Tonight, I'm announcing a new challenge: to redesign America's high schools so they better equip graduates for the demands of a high-tech economy.
We could literally have the finest learning in the world if we were prepared to systematically apply the things that work.
Education. We need to get better. We need a role model. Someone to pull us out of the deep, treacherous trenches of stupidity. We can't let our students down. They deserve a hero. They deserve the education of a Finn. Well, wait a second. What does Finland have to do with education? The Finnish people have reached the peak of academic success, all due to their unorthodox education system.
Finland went through huge education reforms in the 1970s, and since then, their students' performances have proved the reform's success. According to the Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA for short, Finnish students excel in all three areas they're tested in. Out of all the nations tested, Finland scored first in reading, first in science, and second in math only to China. So why does Finland score so high? The answer may lie in Finland's unique education system. One way in which Finland's schooling system is different from the US is with the educators themselves. Finnish teachers are extremely skilled at what they do. Unlike most countries, where it is not extremely difficult to become a teacher, the Finnish road to becoming a teacher is one which requires a lot of hard work and training. Teachers in Finland have as much respect as lawyers or doctors have in the United States. Teachers come from the very top 10% of their class, and all teachers are required to have a master's degree to teach. Only 10 to 13% of applicants make it into the honors teaching program. The Finnish government also offers a lot of support to their teachers. The teaching degree is fully subsidized by the Finnish government, and the school system is 100% state funded, making the Department of Education the highest spending department in the Finnish government. Becoming a teacher is a dream job in Finland, whereas in the United States, becoming a teacher is not as desirable of a profession. A great aspect involved with teaching comes from the freedom given to the teachers. They may adjust their curriculum to whatever they feel is most important. Another positive of a teaching career is that teachers only spend 4 hours a day teaching, and 2 hours a week are set aside for the teachers for professional development. Finnish teachers also spend far less time in school compared to American teachers, 570 hours a year as compared to America's 1,100 hours. Along with an emphasis on highly qualified teachers, students seem to reap a lot of benefits from the Finnish education system as well. Being a student in Finland is very different from being a student in the United States. In Finland, students do not go to school until they are 7 years old, but in the United States, students may begin school as early as age 5. A child's brain is able to do a lot of development that extra 2 years, and once the students get to school, they're not measured or evaluated until they reach the age of 13. There's only one standardized test taken by Finnish students, taken at the age of 16. The fact that there's only one standardized test adds to teachers' freedom because many US teachers feel as though they are teaching to whatever the test sees as important and not what they feel the student should really be learning about. And who better to talk about this than a teacher themselves?
There are two ways in which the United States can improve their educational system. Number one is get the politicians out of education and have teachers have more of a say in the decisions that are made in the districts. Also, they need to drop the emphasis on testing and put more of an emphasis on inquiry teaching and real-world application, because testing does not mimic what the real world is, and it's just regurgitation of facts. It really does nobody any good to be able to do those things. It would be better to learn how to solve real-world problems.
Although Finnish students are statistically smarter than almost everybody else in the world, getting an education in Finland is actually a lot less stressful than school in the United States. There is never more than half an hour of homework per night, and Finnish students attend less school than 85% of developed nations. Even with this decreased workload, Finnish students learn better in their schools than in most other places in the world. Another way that stress is decreased in Finnish schools is by having more emphasis on fun. In elementary school, Finnish students get an average of 75 minutes of recess per day, unlike American elementary schools where recess is being cut down to an average of 23 minutes per day in an effort to focus more on academics and less on fun. Similarly, stress is also decreased in preschools by focusing mainly on the social aspect of school and very minimally on learning at these young ages. Although the Finns are undoubtedly excellent when it comes to smarts, some people say this level of education cannot be achieved in the US because of some key differences between the two countries. For starters, Finland is a much more economically well-off country than the US. Their superior economy could help contribute to the students' intelligence, and the US may not be able to improve the education system until poverty is diminished drastically. A final aspect that some people may see as a negative to the Finnish education system is that it is far less competitive than America's school system. As mentioned earlier, Finnish schools want to reduce stress in students, and in order to do so, there is far less emphasis on outcompeting your peers than in the US. Because of this, everybody does well as a whole, but there is far less variability. The US education system gives students the opportunity to excel and be better than the rest, and this allows for motivated and intelligent students to unlock their full potential. Even if it's not modeled after Finland's, the presidential candidates of 2016 desperately need to address possible education reforms in America.